No, I don't think so. I think so it's me and my roommate here right now, and our lease ends in at the end of June, I think.
Summertime.
So he's moving to Boston to for pharmacy stuff, whatever. He's moving to Boston, so I have to figure out where I'm going to live after then, and I don't have an answer for that. I really have no idea what I'm going to do about it. It's I have no idea. I don't.
Is
We'll
is
figure
it
it
kind
out.
of like
That
is it kind of like you don't know where to go, or you just got like you just don't know what you're going to do because you're not sure what you want to do? Is it kind of a bit of that, or
Oh no, I mean the plan is to stay here. Like the plan isn't to move down to Florida or something. But the question is like where here am I gonna live? Like where can I find a place that I can pay for but also has space for the gym? And then that is a tall task to find. Um, unless people would buy more of my programs so I could live in a mansion and uh, drive a Lamborghini or something.
that's
So
not a
if you
shout
want
out
to
to
put
bro.
money towards my yeah, if you want to put money towards my mansion and Lamborghini fund, links in my bio. But I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to because I want to keep putting more equipment in, and I've just about maxed out my current space, the amount of
Mm.
space I have currently. Um, if I could get a house with a bigger garage, then like I could get more stuff in it. But bigger garage with more space and it's more money. So I don't know. We'll see when the time comes, which is
I'm
what I
currently
have
doing
been
that.
doing. Like last
Yeah,
time, are you looking?
there you
You
go.
think you're gonna move?
Well, just because
Oh, I was
like
gonna
there's
say,
a
I like last time my we have a delay, but
we have a bit of a
you
delay.
go.
Okay, I got it. I was going to say, I've maxed out my gym. I can't go any bigger. I can't go any larger. Like, there's nothing else that I can put in here because if I put any more in here, you're not going to be able to walk. And you got to be able to walk in and out through here. You can't walk. There's nothing we can do. Can't even do sleds in here if I put any more in here. And that's number one for me. I mean, I've maxed out. If anyone actually wants to see what I've done, I mean, I've got bike bikes stored in here. I've got Eskies, chili bins, I don't know what you guys call them, stored in here. I've got the laundry in here as well down to one side, and then the rest is just mine. Like it's just everything is kind of stacked up as best as I can do it. I can't do any more. If I do any more, that's going to be no more room. So like for us, eventually, it's going to be about like can we, if we do move, we need to have something, whether it's like a bigger space for the garage or a bigger shed that we can use. So for me, there's no more equipment, no more purchasing equipment. Even though I've got some free athlete stuff coming, but that's just because like I can put it in. I can find a spot for that. That's what I'm saying. Once that's come, then there's nothing else. But for you, you need to find a bigger space if you want to. Like, do you want to find the bigger space, or do you think you need to find the bigger space?
Uh, that's a blurred line between want and need here. Um, I want more. I want a longer space to sled. Like I have like probably 7 yards, 8 yards right now of space to sled. Like I want an extra 2 to 5, 7 yards to sled on top of that, which is a tall task. But you can get garages in the States that are 40 feet long. If you look in the without it being like a ridiculous house. If you find the right, they have garages that are like a 2 car garage, and then one of the stalls is like double long. So it's like 40 feet there. You can get those. I don't need a massive space, but like it's I don't know. It's a little bit of me being like selfish, like I want a bigger gym, and there's equipment that I think is valuable that I'd like to have that I don't. But it's also like I can do 87% of anything in my gym. I can do 99% of what I think is actually necessary to do. But there's like Like I want an inverse curl. I think that would be a really good thing for people working on Nordics. I think a back attack would be awesome. Having like an actual lat pull down, low row kind of thing. Like there's a couple things that it's like, these are pieces that would be really valuable to have. They're not like, am I fine without a lat pull down? Yeah, I just do more pull ups, but uh, like my mom who can't do a bunch of pull ups, like we have her doing eccentric, but like there's only so long you can do eccentrics. Like you have to eventually pull. So lat pull down would be helpful there. So do I need a bigger space? No. If I really wanted to, I could just get rid of the ice baths and put a couple pieces there, but I want a bigger space.
Could you, because like I think the gym garage set up since obviously everything that happened in the last 3 or 4 years, well, 2 or 3 years, sorry, like it's really kind of heightened that gym garage space and gym garage setup, which everyone has really been kind of moving towards. But I mean, running a business from your garage, it's been doable for me, and obviously if you're training one-to-one clients too, it can definitely be done as well. But I still think that it's such a tough decision to make, and for me, like, I don't want to go all in with a gym space. I don't want to have this brick and mortar spot where it's like I need to, because there's so much more. I don't think people realize you have the gym that you've got you currently were you trying to create if you have a brick and mortar, and then you have to be able to have people there to help run it, to make sure that there's people coming in, to make sure that everything's done right, everything's safe, all that kind of stuff. Whereas people just see like, oh, this space is small. You need to get bigger space. You need to make sure that you've got like all this extra stuff for the people who you don't have at the moment. Like if you're doing one-to-one clients, you're not doing classes, you don't have all the other stuff. Then you got extra pay on top of that too. It's like there's this hidden, how would you say it? There's this hidden like, realization I don't think people understand about having that sort of gym. Like I don't want to have brick and mortar where I am in my garage at the moment. Well, it's small, like I get that, I understand, but I'd rather move house than open up my own gym. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that's the way that I feel personally like about it, because it just doesn't seem viable for me.
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I've thought about it quite a bit. Like, not that I'm considering just opening a gym instead of moving to a different house right now, but like I have considered like it does seem more professional to have an actual gym space. Like whether it's just a gym space the size of a garage, having somewhere where it's not like, yeah, I sleep right there, like having a space separate like that seems to be more professional in my eyes. Do you really need it? I don't know. I haven't done any market research on that. Like I don't know what people truly think about it, but it seems in my brain to be like a more quote unquote professional thing. Obviously it's more convenient to just have it in your house. Like it's much easier just to have it there, but I don't know. It's like for the rent that you would have to pay for a spot big enough to have a gym here in like a commercial setting is like way more than you're going to pay for almost any house that is almost certainly going to be plenty big enough or has enough space that you can build a gym on the premises that's like plenty big. So monetarily, it makes sense to just run it out of your garage. Business wise, it's hard to put a dollar amount on that separate space professionalism.
Yeah. Like even I don't know what it's like in the US, and this is something that I've been thinking about because being a sole trader, like here we're called sole traders. So from a business perspective and even from a tax perspective, like I'm sure that there are ways that it can be done, like whether you are paying rent at home, whether you can, I don't know. I'm not sure this. I mean, with this one, this is something that's like from an accounting perspective or a financial perspective that I would need to probably have a chat with. But there are definitely ways I think that it can be done with in terms of like business-wise, working from home. And the fact that like a lot more people are working from home as well. I mean, I'm sure that it's very, very similar to the way that it's working in the US, where a lot of people are, doing 2, 3, maybe 4 days from home, and then they go in once a week or they go in once a fortnight or something like that, just to kind of catch up with the crew. But it's funny because I'm more productive at home than I was ever when I had to go into a place as well. Because for me, and you would think it'd be the opposite, but it wasn't. I had travel time, so it would be half an hour to 45 minutes in, depending on traffic. So that's about an hour-ish of travel time, an hour and a half of travel time every single day when I was going into the gym, which would have been maybe 5 to 6 days, we'll say 4 to 5 days a week. But then when you're in the gym, or you're at the space, and this was, when was it, 8 months ago, you weren't as productive as what you were because there were so many distractions. And I was speaking with someone yesterday about this. I'm like, but wouldn't there be less distractions at work? And I'm like, yeah, you'd think so. But at home, it's like you keep yourself busy because you got things to do for the business. You can train because you've got stuff here. There's no other distractions apart from your phone. And if you've got that sorted, there's no dramas. Whereas everything else, there's always people walking in the gym. There's other things going on that are out of your sort of control. Whereas at home, it's like, sure, the delivery guy comes every now and again because my wife keeps buying things from bloody Amazon or Etsy or eBay or whatever. But apart from that, there's not much else going on. You can fill up your time really, really well with one-to-ones. It's just a different kind of vibe. And I find that if I was to ever open a space, I would want someone to be in control of it. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want my time, because you lose a lot of time. And that's what I realized too. You lose so much time when you're trying to start up a gym because there's so much that you have to do yourself unless you've got someone else that can actually go in and do that work for you, which most times is very, very hard to find people like that, because unless you've got a complete clone of yourself, it's not going to happen. You lose so much time. You lose so much time in terms of being able to leverage your time. You can't do it. And unless you're someone like the way that Ben Clarefoot runs his space, at Reach, it's epic there, man. So from everything that I've seen, I've never been there, but it's awesome to have something like that. And I think that the US in particular is moving that way, where gyms aren't actually like gyms used to be. We've got some 24 fit ones here, which they do the job. It's not like they're horrible gyms, but I think people are willing to pay more money to get better results at a gym instead of just going to the group classes gym where there's the F45s, which I think is kind of down and out. There's another one here, Body Fit. I'm not sure if I think there might be one in the US. But that style of training is slowly making its way out because people are realizing that high intensity interval training continuously is not the greatest thing for you. I'm not talking about in terms of physical benefits. I'm talking about in terms of mental and emotional as well, because that shit do that all the time and that'll kill you. Whereas if you can focus on a balance, everyone talks about balanced nutrition. Is your balanced workout? You want to be able to get the most out of your body. I'm not saying ATG is the key for everyone, but you want to be able to get the most out of your body. ATG is a great place to start, and it's a great place to be as well. We're both a testament to that, and there's thousands of people that are as well. So just to have a gym like that, it'll take time. And obviously Ben's has taken some time to get his up and running. And that's just an example. Even Ben Patrick's got his as well. So yeah, that's my 5 cents in that space.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, yeah. Those sort of classes are actually still really popular here in the US. Cycle bar, it's like a cycling class, super popular. F45 is doing really well here as far as I can tell. There's still Orange Theory, Eat the Frog. There's a ton of those that I would imagine are doing pretty well still. There's a whole bunch of other ones. But I think those are doing really well. I don't know how many actual personal training studios are here, but it's running a gym is interesting because I think I don't know how much work Ben can offload, because I know he's got a front desk, somebody working the front desk that probably does a lot of the administrative stuff for him. I think she does all the scheduling and whatever. But so I don't know how much Ben actually has got. I know Ben is ridiculously busy, Ben Clarefield, but I don't know how much time he spends training versus how much time he spends doing admin stuff. And he's got a family as well. But either way, I think if you just run a gym on your own, like it's going to be more work than running it out of your garage, obviously, because you're gonna have more people to pay for it. But I don't know that if it's just you, it's actually like significantly more work. I could be totally off base, but it's like if it's just your garage and instead of you have your garage, you like have a place that you're renting somewhere else. It's like basically a garage. It's just like more expensive.
Yeah, and that's what we realized too. Like that's what I've realized since moving away from that. When we did have the hybrid gym 8 months ago, it's sure there's a lot more in terms of the business side of things that you need to do. Like there's the rent that you need to pay. I haven't paid rent in 8 months. Like I haven't had to pay rent because, well, I paid a mortgage, but that's about it. You know, whereas when you're renting a house and then renting a place, it's like there's a little bit more to it. And I think the model of build it and they will come, it depends on where you are, because in a place like Adelaide, where it's population-wise, it's quite small comparatively to other states. There's less kind of like want to try sort of things like this. People are happy with where they are. They just want to stick with the things that they enjoy doing. It doesn't really work. Whereas like Nevin Antich, who's the other ATG coach here in Adelaide, he's got an awesome space where he started off in his garage. He's got like a double car garage, and he's built this place, and then he had like a shed out the back. And just recently, because he's been doing quite well and he's been building up for the last couple of years, he just joined the back shed and the garage space together, just putting a pergola over the top. Now he's got like a 40 or 50 meter sled track. Like it's wild. There's a little incline as well because it kind of goes up. So it's like, it's an awesome space. He's got the nice little spot at the back for people to chill out in. Like he has a really, really cool spot. And I think the business model that he has is really working for him, because not only in the way that he trains clients and coaches clients, and he's got your specifics of like your athletes and then sort of Gen Pop, he also has done a really, really good job with building or starting small and then progressively getting bigger and bigger. So his business is expanded. And then once he outgrows where he is, it's like, okay, now I need to have a space. Whereas beforehand, the whole build it and they will come model, it's like you're putting a lot of trust in the emotion of people, where like they want to buy, they want to go and they try new things. But most times people are happy with where they are. You're only kind of playing, like Russell Brunson says, you're kind of working with the people who aren't happy or who are frustrated in where they are. And Adelaide being so small, there's so many places that you can go to in the one area. So for Nevin to be able to build his brand, he's done a spectacular job. Started small, then his same spot, he's been able to get bigger, and he's got as big as he can get now, and he'll just fill those spots. As soon as he fills those spots, then it's like, okay, well, let's go and find a warehouse somewhere. Let's go and find a little studio somewhere that I can start to move people at. And then from there, I mean, it's not a quick thing to do. You have to be able to put people in the right positions to be able to take care of the place itself. Like that's the way that I view it. And then when you want to be, like you said, with Ben Clarefield, you want to be able to still do the things that you want to do. You got a family, you got kids, wife or husband, you've got pets, you've got other things that are of more importance to you other than family, So there's a lot of things that kind of come into that. I think that the home gym setup is a great place. And even if you don't coach from there, I think even having it is awesome. But people get caught in the trap of, I've got this gym, but all it does now is it collects dust and it sits there, and I don't actually use it anymore because, well, I haven't got the accountability, or I can't be bothered getting out there. I don't know what to do. Like there's a number of excuses that you can use, but there's also a way around that too. Like I think that if people genuinely want to be fit, want to be healthy, want to get out of pain and all that sort of stuff, there are ways around doing that. Even if it is online training, I think that there's still benefits there. I did a dent session this morning with the crew online. Like we did dents. We're doing our polar quins. We're doing 10D10. Like we just did a little bit of that, and it's still doable given what they have at home. So it can be done. It always can be done. It just depends on whether you actually want to do it. That's what I think.
Yeah, part of it is just like how well you can sell your services and like what kind of results you've gotten. Like Keith has been in that house for so long and gotten such unbelievable results out of there that it's like, I think people like that it's just that little gym in his garage now, because it's like it's what it is. Like it kind of gives it character, and he's got everything you need in there. So it's part of it is like almost how well can you sell enough people on your services in the beginning to get it rolling. Like I have to imagine like when you're really getting it like that, the first 5 clients are going to be harder than the 30 to 35th clients, just because it's like, yeah, I don't have that many results here, but like I need you to come in here so I can get the results, so I can get more people. And part of it is also like, if you have just like a piece of shit gym in your garage, then it's going to be really hard to sell people. Like if it looks bad, but like your gym is like clean and nice and you have good equipment and all that. And I have equipment. It doesn't look that nice, but it's like, it's all about how well you could sell in relation to what you have. Like if you have a really sweet gym, it's in a nice place in town and it's in a good spot, then it's like you only need to sell like this well. But like if you have some like dinky little gym in your basement and it's dark and the equipment sucks, you're gonna have to like sell this well. Like it's all about how, and then beyond that, it's like what kind of results are you providing? Like Keith doesn't need to run ads. Like his athletes tell other athletes about what's happening with them, or people notice and ask. So and then you don't even need to sell really at that point, just in like a consultation or whatever. But it's there's like always a balance there of how well you can sell versus what the results and what kind of gym you got.
Yeah, I guess the don't judge a book by its cover plays in massively there, because you've got, like, for example, what I have here, comparing it to like your normal gym setup that you would usually have, and then you have the personal trainers running out of that gym. And I think that a lot can be said for, if you do have a gym garage and you are a trainer working out of a gym garage, you are the only trainer there. Like you are the only person at that gym. Whereas when you go to another gym, there's like 5 or 6, maybe more. I haven't been to a gym in a while, so I wouldn't really know. And then there's obviously a lot more people there. So people are paying for that experience. Like they're paying for the experience because they would want to be by themselves, or they only want to be with 2 or 3 people, or they only just want to be with you, or they value your knowledge and they value your time, or I think the equipment, like since we were just talking before the start of the podcast, since getting the cable machine in here just the other day on the weekend, what I have to offer has like increased significantly, because I can finally do proper pull-ups. I can finally do proper dips. We can finally get onto the cable machine. Whereas beforehand, like the only time I could do reverse squats was if I used a band, because I had no other way of doing it, or if I had the triflexor. Once I finally got the triflexor and the iron shin, that's the only way that I could do it. Whereas now I've got something even more measurable to use, and I can use the cable machine for so much else. Like I can use it for the pull-ups. Finally, I'm not doing band pull-ups. I can use it for eccentric pull-ups. I can use it for like lat pull-downs. I can use it for so much more. And so the equipment is important. I get that, but I've made do with very, very limited equipment. Not recently, but beforehand, I made do with very, very limited equipment. I mean, if I was to show you a photo of maybe 8 months ago, 9 months ago, no more than that, maybe even more, probably close to 12-ish months ago, like the way that this garage looked, it was like I didn't even want to train in here. I would rather have paid money to go to a gym to use the gym stuff there. But slowly, bit by bit, I've started to add to here. And people ask me, it's like, how much would this have cost you? And it's like, well, looking at it now, it probably cost me something like, I don't know, maybe between $3,500 to $5,000, maybe. But I didn't outlay that straight away. I don't think people understand that. Like, I found one of my mates had the grass here that I've gotten here. He had it at his work, and he's like, it's been sitting there for 6 months. Do you want it for free? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll cut it up. I'll use it how I can. Then the mats, I got them cheaper. The stand, the stuff that I spent full price on, but there's stuff that you just like, yeah, okay, that works. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that in there. And then the amount of times that this gym has changed, you got no idea. Like, I've moved things 100 times because it just doesn't fit there. And again, we were talking about that beforehand too. Like, if I need more equipment, which the only equipment that I can fit is the Freak Athlete stuff that's coming here soon. I got a delivery the other day. I got another tin bar, and then I got the sled rails came in a box because the way that Australia ships here is stupid. They just like pack it in 9 different boxes, and you're going to get a bolt in this box, and then you get the clip in the other box, and then you get it's dumb. But anyway, that's Australia for you. What I'm saying is that you have you don't with the home gym, it's hard to make it look like an actual gym because it's not an actual gym. Whereas the home gym, it's a little bit more personal, it's a little bit more personalized, it's a little bit more individualized. It's like this is your own little haven. Whereas when you go to a gym, a bigger gym, it's very hard to make it feel that way.
Yeah. What do you have coming from Freak Athlete?
So another multi-sleds, multi-steps, slant board, and I think that's it. Because the only multi-steps that I have is I had this one last mat, one of the mats, the meter by meter thick mats. I only had like one left, and it was just sitting in the corner. I'm like, what am I going to do with you? And I'm like, well, I don't actually have any, I don't have a multi-step. Like, that would be really, really handy to have, like the different levels. I don't have one like that. What if I cut it up? I'm going to cut it up, and then I can stack them on top of each other. Because I looked at purchasing those same material, but they've got like the little teeth in them where you can stack them on top of each other. I can't remember what they're called. But then I looked at them, and for one piece, it was like $80, and I'm like, no chance. I'm going to make do with what I got here. So
the DC blocks.
Yeah. DC blocks are the ones. And then I just decided to cut these up, and they work perfectly. Like, sure, it's not like pristine and gold, but it does the job. It does more than the job than what I need it to do. So I haven't had multi-steps. Now I've got them coming in. I can finally get rid of them. So it's just it's time. It's time. That, and one of my clients actually made for my birthday. Great clients. They're the type of clients that you want. Is they made me a the thing where you jump up and you tap it to see how high you can jump. It's I can't remember what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
The vertical test. Yeah, they made one out of there you go. Yep. They made one out of PVC pipe, rulers from Officeworks, and a whole bunch of nuts and bolts and that. I got to show you this thing, man. I got to show you. It's right here. It's staring at me. It's been tied up with a. For those who are listening can't see, like this is here. It's obviously a little bit funky sometimes, but it does the job. Like this here, it's got a shoelace tied around it so it doesn't flick around, but it does the job, man. I'll see if I can get it back a little bit more so you can see. Yeah, there you go. So then it stacks up on top of PVC pipe.
That's sweet.
Yeah, because they were looking at it and they were looking at buying one for my birthday, just because give me a birthday present. Like, not that I asked for it. I was almost crying when they brought this gift in because I'm like, man, that's the best gift anyone has ever given me. Like something like this is wild. They were looking at buying one, and they were like $1,000 for one. What? But this here cost me like not even $100. Not even $100 to build and to make. It's just time that they put into it. So I'm super grateful for what they did. Like that's obviously it's got its flaws, but like it's just so good to use, so good, and it works perfectly. So yeah.
I need to get some of those clients.
And that's what I mean. Like you've got when you work with people so closely, because when they rock up to the gym and when they rock up to my garage, it's just me and them. It's no one else. Like there's nothing else there. So it's you've created this really, really safe space. And so I train two younger boys. They train at the same time. They're both brothers, and so the dad made that for me. So it wasn't the clients that actually made it for me, but the clients' dads who paid for them to come and see me made that for me. And we've had some really, really good times working together, and we still do. And there's been some times where it's like it's not just about the training; it's about, because they're young men, like it's teaching them about that progression through life, like how to sort of deal with the struggle that's ahead. Like if we were to do something like 10D10 as an example, it's like it's not just about the physical hurt, because I know that it hurts. I know that the sled is challenging. I get that, but it's about building that resilience within you. So then after here, when you have the session here, you go and walk out in the real world, that physical pain that you've experienced here, or that mental pain or that emotional pain, was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, yes, you can. If you can push a sled or pull a sled and your legs are burning, but you push through that, you can do a lot more than what you think you're capable of. So yeah, I think that's where that small space, having that connection with clients in a space that's safe. And I'm not saying that gyms aren't safe, they are, but they don't offer that same level of personal individualization that a gym garage does. Like there's pros and cons with both. I get that.
Yeah. And even something like Ben's gym in Toronto is like much closer to that same feeling than any of the big box gyms are. But they still have like 6 trainers working there at any given time, and X amount of those 6 have clients in there too. So it's not like there's 15 trainers that all have a client at this current time, and then there's 200 other people that are just normal members in the gym. Like it's much closer to the garage than it is to a big box setting. But those Vertec things are, in my opinion, the second best way to develop your vertical jump. So I mean, an adjustable basketball hoop rim is, I would put it a little bit higher just because it's more fun to dunk on. But like, if you were like, you have to get your vertical jump up and like you can only do one plyometric thing, it's an adjustable rim basketball hoop. And if I don't have that, it's a Vertec. And like, it's like, all right, twice a week, just go touch as high as you can, off your left, off your right, off left, right, right, left, standing, what different angles. Like, then if you want to talk about exercise, like the cheat code for your vertical jump is like progressive measured overload, I guess you could say, with the height of jumping in all 4 plants and then standing. So it's, I either need to make one or find a way to get one or find a client to make me one, because I think those are actually really valuable.
Yeah, I remember listening to the ATG Roundtable. Ben Patrick was talking about it. I think it was from that. It might have been from something else, but when it's like when they're doing a dunking, or if they're going out just to dunk, that's like a session. That is a session for you, like you just said just then. It's literally teaching your body how to absorb force, how to jump higher, how to be able to do it repeatedly. Like I saw the post that you put up the other day about the depth jumps and all that sort of stuff, and like the 2 and 1. It makes a lot of sense. We do a lot of that. So like at the club, we do a bit of that actually when we randomize it a little bit, where it's like it's a jump and it's like it's a little nudge, push, pull, or nudge to the side, and it's like that's more so for proprioception. It's just to sort of get yourself used to the unknown as much as possible, as much as you possibly can, but it's still giving you a bit of feedback. This thing here, that the vertical jump, like it's pretty easy to make. It looks pretty easy to make. So like, if you want, I'll send it through to you, or I can just make one for you and send it through if none of your clients going to do it for you. So.
Yeah, my birthday's in June, so I'm expecting one of those from you. No, it's I that's like the biggest problem I have with a lot of applied metrics right now is like I have no idea if I jumped higher today than if I did 4 seconds ago, or than I did 2 weeks ago, or did a year and a half ago. Like when you have that measure, like even dunking a basketball, like the hoop doesn't move, but like you can kind of tell, like, all right, that was easier, or I did a new dunk today, like, or I can only do a tennis ball and today I did a softball, like, or on the Vertex, like homemade or an actual one, like you have, like, oh, I touched an inch higher today. Like there's no debating, like, okay, maybe your technique got a little bit better, but like your technique's gonna get better at the beginning, and then it's pretty much gonna stall out. It's not like generally after a few times of doing it, like you're just gonna be jumping higher, and you know you jumped higher, and you'll be like, "That's sick! Like let's jump one more." Like it's hard to do a max effort without, like, if you can imagine squatting, you're like, I have no idea how much this is on the bar, but like let's try it. Like who's gonna get stronger like that? Same thing with jumping or sprinting. Like, did I run 100 faster today? Yeah, cool. All right. Let's run 100 faster tomorrow. It's that measurement, I think, is super important. And even one thing that I know Ben used to do was bounds, like single leg bounds, and that you can measure that. Like you could put out 3-meter strips of tape on the ground. It's like, all right, did I hit those? Did I go farther overall? Like measuring is everything. Like, obviously, there's things that it's not that important, but like, if you want to be better at something, sprinting, running, lifting, whatever, measure it. Find a way to measure it. Pick exercises that you can measure.
Have you been using your assault treadmill? Is it the assault treadmill? Is that what you got?
Yeah. I like it. I actually really like it just for walking on. If it's like cold as shit outside and I want to get a little walk in, like, awesome. It's really good. And it works perfectly for sprinting and everything. I haven't done a ton of just dead out sprints, but I do use it fairly often, and it moves and it works perfectly. So did I probably jump the gun on getting it? Yeah, but like, I have it for when I do use it. Like, it's not that this isn't like, I'll use it in the future. It's like, this is going to get used. It's just not being used right now. So it is what it is.
Yeah. You keep telling yourself that. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure it's going to get used.
I have. Yeah.
Speaking of running, you're not by any chance doing the 4x4x48, are you, this coming weekend?
No. Is that where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 2 days?
Yeah.
No, get out of here with that. No shot.
But I thought you loved running. Weren't you saying that just before? You're like, I really, really, really like running.
Oh my God. I don't think anybody's ever heard those words come out of my mouth.
But okay, so I understand why it's been. I did it last year. I didn't run it because running the only option that I had, running on the road, like I did a run, then a ride, and then I've got like a rowing machine. So I used the rowing machine. And
like a ride in the car.
No. I jumped, put the helmet on, got the everything, and just went out for a ride. It was a 12K ride. And by God, like it was, I remember there was the 12 a.m.er. No. Yeah, the 12 a.m.er that I did on the second time around. I went for a run. it wasn't a run. Like it was a shuffle at best. It didn't. My feet were just like. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get 6.4, because that's what 4 miles is, 6.4 Ks done. I was in agony, absolute agony. Couldn't move, I was crawling, almost crawling. And I slept down on the couch, so I didn't wake my wife up or anything like that. But where I'm getting at with this is I understand your hatred towards anything that involves any aspect of running, such as this does. But from a mental perspective, do you see a place for something like this, or do you think it's just like a pointless task that everyone wants to be like David Goggins for a weekend?
It's like this is actually the same thing that I tell my girlfriend about F45. It's just hard to be hard. Like it's not hard to do something beneficial for you. Like, not that F45 isn't good to get people moving and you do a little bit of strength work and like you're moving and it's exercise and it's good. It's good. It's a good thing for you, but there's no like pointed goal for it. Like, you're not, like what I told her, I was like, you will get stronger and unbelievable, like infinitely times faster if you come lift with me 4 or 5 days a week. Like, you'll get stronger so much faster than if you go there and your back won't hurt or whatever. Like, so do I think there's a place for things that are hard just to be hard? Yeah. I mean, like, if you're not doing something that's hard all the time, like, then do something hard. It doesn't have to be run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Like, just, it could be like trying to start a business is hard. Like, you could be spending all your time on that. Like, the amount of stuff I do, like, I don't feel the need to do something else that's hard. Like, I just do hard stuff in what to me is hard stuff, like, pretty often. And, so I don't have the need for it. But like, if you're an accountant and you just like watch football at night and it's like, well, first of all, you probably get hurt if you are just an accountant that doesn't move and then you try to do a 4x4x48. But if you're like, I want something that's really challenging for me, or you just enjoy it or whatever, yeah, like, do it. Like, yeah, I'm never going to tell somebody that it's stupid for them to do it. Like, that would be a ridiculous thing for me to say. Is it good for you? No. Physically, mentally, probably good for you, but like, it's not for me.
So what you're saying is if I was to come one day to Indiana and it happened to be on the weekends, first weekend in March, that you wouldn't tie up your laces and come out in the freezing cold with me, but just one run, maybe just one.
Oh, I would absolutely do one run with you. Like, there's like, I wouldn't even have to think about it. If you're like, I'm doing a 4x48, come on a run with me, I would, yeah, absolutely, I would go. If you're like, let's do the whole thing, I would be like, man, if you came all the way up from Australia and you were like, I want to do the 4x48 with you, I would so not want to do it, but I think I would do it just because like you like came the whole way up. If like my roommate was like, yeah, let's do it, I would be like, hell no. Like, you are not getting me to do that.
Well, looks
so
like
there's an aspect of it would be like, oh my God, if that's what gets you up here, I don't know what to tell you. The whole reason you made this entire trip was just to prove a point to me and get me to do the 4x48 would be wicked.
All right. We're gonna probably next year. Can't be this year because if I leave anywhere in March, if I go anywhere further than an hour from my home, with the baby on the way. I don't think my wife's going to be too impressed with that. So have to stay in the States for this one. But I reckon next year we're on.
All right, I get at least a year of not having to do it.
Yeah, done. But you gotta do something to prepare yourself. You gotta do one run to prepare yourself beforehand.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do to prepare. I'm going to book every weekend in March up for the next 6 years.
Oh wow, it's a very intense. Like obviously you've never done it, and I have, but I haven't done the full way, the full way that like with just the running, because just doing that. Just running.
So neither of us have done it.
True. Well, in that way, yeah. So neither of us have done it. But if you were to just do the running, that running side of things, things so monotonous. Like you would need to find a spot that was like either really, really nice and safe and beautiful, like on grass, because running on the road would just tear you limb from limb. And it needs to be flat as well. But to those who do it and do it like, I take my hat off them because it's not an easy task to do. I mean, this year I was contemplating doing it just on the rowing machine behind me, because like it's just not easy to do on the road. For me, it's not, because the way that all the shit that's gone wrong will not. Obviously, my legs feel great now, but for me to do it on the road, I just don't get this good feeling. It doesn't hit me well. But then doing it on the rower, we had some people do it on the rower last year, just on the rower, and they were like, "Oh, my ass was killing me," and I was looking at the same bit of wall every time I went out there. It's like it's not even physical; it's just like, "Oh man, my God, I can't look at this anymore." You know, like it's literally putting yourself in prison to do this sort of stuff. And yeah, sure, it's like you said, maybe. Definitely, from a physical perspective, it is not something that you should do to get you physically up and about, but it is definitely something to do if you want to make something hard, like, and you want to reap the benefits from doing hard work. I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, is it a total of 48 miles over the weekend?
So I think it's 12. Yeah, 12 times 4 is 48. So, yeah, it's 48 miles over Friday. I think it starts Friday. So it goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can start I started Friday evening at 8. So then that way I could finish at 4 p.m., just after 4 p.m. on Sunday. So, yeah, on Sunday. Yeah, so that's how the 48 hours worked out, because then it goes, the 8 o'clock one would have been the last, like, is that last block to do. It's having done it the way that I did it, like a triathlon, where I rode my bike, and then I was jumping the rowing machine. It definitely was easier. I mean, on my body with the running, like I said, I shuffled for 65 minutes, which was probably the worst time I've had running. The first run I did, I was like, man, I feel like I am on a bunch of clouds. Nothing's going to stop me. And then it got to that second run, and it was the worst run that I'd done. So for me, like I did 4 rounds basically of the run, ride, row, run, ride, row, run, ride, row, run, ride, row. That second and third one, or the runs, man, not nice. Not nice at all. It was painful. It was like, I'm talking really, really, really painful. Everything was just bad. But we did it. We got it done, so it's okay. We didn't really do it properly, so we're gonna do it again. Not this year though. Next year when I come to Indiana, it's nice and cold.
I would rather run 24 miles in a 14-hour period twice in 2 days than run it every 4 hours. Like, and maybe this is me, like, getting out away from the point of hard to be hard, but like, I would infinitely rather run 24 miles in 14 hours and then have 10 hours off and then run 24 miles in the next 14 hours and still get the 48 miles. But like, then I don't have to wake up 4 hours into being asleep and go run 4 damn miles. Like, ridiculous.
It's,
I don't know if you feel the same way.
yeah, I enjoyed, I know it's going to sound a little bit sadistic, I guess, but I actually enjoyed hearing the alarm go off. Yeah, at that time. And like I would nap over like in between. So I would nap. I actually didn't really even eat much either, you know, which is probably why I felt like crap, but like as in my body felt like crap. But because like I said, I slept downstairs on the couch, so I didn't wake my wife up because that would have been another problem. But I would sleep on the couch and the alarm would go off, and I'd set my alarm to like 15 minutes beforehand. And then I would just get up and go again, and then get up and go. And like, I had no issues of getting up and going to go for my run or my ride or row, whatever it was. But then while you're in it, you start questioning yourself and you start like, is this really what I want to be doing right now? And you kind of have to override that thought in your head, you know, because there are a lot of, in answer to your question, I would much rather do the four hours, I think anyway, because I don't know, it's a little bit, it just spices it up a little bit for me, I guess. You know, it's just, it's a little nicer. I like it. I like making shit hard for myself, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Why don't you try running a mile every hour for 48 hours?
That's a good one. 1.6 Ks. You know, I'll go one better. I'll do 2 Ks because I know where the 2K mark is for when I take my dog for a walk. So I'll do 2 Ks every hour, 48 hours. Oh, actually, no, that's pretty fucked up. I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm like, what about 2 o'clock?
What if you ran? Here's another one. What if you ran? See, now we're getting ridiculous. What if you ran 400 meters every 15 minutes for 48 hours?
No, I'm good, man. Now that's getting, because you wouldn't sleep. You would not sleep. You would literally just get up. It would be me sleeping. I'd have power naps every 20. No, I'd have 5-minute power naps because by the time I get to sleep and then wake up again, it's like the alarm goes. I need to have an alarm set every 15 minutes. I need to have an alarm time set. I don't think that would kill me.
Yeah, you'd have to have a tent in the middle of the track. You'd have to have a tent there, just at the finish line.
Imagine that. So you go
run around the track straight into the tent.
Yeah, this is going back to Corbin's. I wonder if he's done that. The marathon of lunges. Do you remember that podcast we did middle of last year?
Yeah, he did something like that. It was something. He's done a whole bunch of ridiculous things. Like he walked like a kilometer on his hands or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that guy's a freak. Anyway, we should leave it there for today. Talking about Goggins and gym garages and everything else. Matty, where's everyone going to find you? And where's everyone going to be able to pay for your Lamborghini /mansion / retirement fund? Where?
Yeah. Score Performance everywhere. SKAAR Performance. We're changing things up a little bit with the programs. Again, nice. I was talking to Zach. We could talk about it more later. But coming out with 2 programs now. There's going to be I haven't actually figured out what they're going to be called yet, but there's going to be a speed one and a health program for soccer football players. If you're interested and you want to be part of the beta test, give you a good discount in return for one testimonial and if you didn't like it, it doesn't have to be a testimonial. It can just be feedback. So shoot me a message wherever, and I can get everybody on that. If you're interested, yeah, that's where you can pay for me to buy a whole bunch of Lamborghinis. Steph, where can everybody find you? And contribute to your Lamborghini fund.
I'm more of a Ferrari guy, but thank you. No, I do quite like Lamborghinis. Coach Carly on Instagram with the 3 eyes. The link's in there as well. So I am also very, very close to getting the online product up and running. We just had a couple of speed bumps with ClickFunnels, as we were discussing last week with ClickFunnels 2.0. So Zach has kind of moved me back to ClickFunnels 1.0, which is, I think this is in the final little bits now. So it'll be live very, very soon. You get an incredible discount when you sign up as well too. So there's a whole heap of value in the program, in the product itself. And again, same thing, some testimonials would be great. And if you don't like the product, there is the money back too, which you get back. So check out the links. They're all in in my bio on Instagram. And yeah, so I'm pretty pumped. I said that last week. We were right there. We're right there, but then yeah, it just made it a little bit harder. So we're almost done. Just a couple more things to go. So we'll get there a little bit of time. But anyway, thank you to those who stayed on and listened to us ramble and rant about all things this morning and this afternoon. Enjoy what is left of your day, or if you listen to us before you go to sleep, enjoy your sleep, and we'll see you all next week.